So I started off, I made a cardboard template of the sword, and I popped the steel that I started off with. It's 3/16 of an inch thick by about 20 something inches, and I forged in the point of the blade. Here I'm using a fuller to delineate where the handle is going to be. I'm going to take this about 1.5 inch bar and draw it down to 1 inch for the handle. Here I'm going to start on the guard. I'm flattening out the part that's going to be welded onto the handle, or right above the handle, that acts as the trigger on the actual sword in the Attack on Titan anime. Here I'm drawing out, this is about a 5/8 bar, and I'm drawing it down to maybe 1/2 inch and to 1/4 down at the very smallest end, so that it flows nicely. I cut off the piece from the long bar, and now I'm drawing out the point. This isn't actually on the authentic sword, or the sword in the anime, but I just wanted to add a little bit of decorative piece to the sword, and so I just curled the end of this bar. Just checking it against the tiplet, and it looks pretty close to what I designed. I took a piece of 1/4-inch plate, flat stock, just mild steel, and I got all the other shapes since the original bar wasn't big enough to forge out all these pieces. So I cut them out and I welded them onto the high carbon blade steel, and so that it would round out the shape of the sword, as you can see here. Before heat treating, I wanted to remove some of the metal so I wouldn't have to grind the entire swords hard. So I put in these pre-grinds to set the bevels of the sword. Back at the forge, and I'm using this vise to help straighten out the sword. Just using the jaws of the vise to squish it into a straight piece of metal. Here I'm tempering it in my oven. It just fit, barely fit in there. And I took it straight out of the oven. It had a little kink in it, so I held it in the vise and I bent it to try and get it out all the way straight. I got a nice purple temper, which is about 50 Rockwells. So I'm using G10 for the handle material. It's a fiberglass laminate, and I'm cutting it out on my bandsaw, and I'm going to drill and then put brass pins through these holes along with epoxy to glue it to the handle. Here I'm sanding and shaping it to the shape of the metal. This is one of the bad parts of knife making in Virginia in the winter. Your water bucket gets frozen, and you have to clean it out before you can start grinding, so it'll catch the steel dust. So here I'm getting the bevels to somewhere where I like it, about halfway up the blade, and after that I'll clean it up a little more. Here I'm sandblasting the blade to give it a matte gray looking finish. I'm mixing up some epoxy and putting it on the handles so I can glue these handles to the actual blade of the sword. Cutting off the pins, and then I will peen the pins over with a ball peen hammer, and that will spread the brass out so it won't come out even if the epoxy breaks. Here I'm just putting the final edge on the sword. Start out with a 120 grit belt, then a 220 grit, and then I finished with a 600 grit belt, and that gave a pretty nice edge. So here's the completed sword. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you like it.